Hello and welcome to another episode of the Crossplay Podcast, the very first, episode 2, first and only. I am Nicky James, one of your hosts, here with my brother Chris.
What's up, guys?
Here with Peps.
Hello, hello.
And we're going to do some banter. So, how you guys feeling today?
Feeling great. How are you and Peps feeling? You guys have been taking some Haterade.
We're feeling better than you. How you feeling, Jose?
Pretty alright.
What did you guys do last night? We got up late?
What did I do? I was editing all last night. We just started, for those of you interested, doing Let's Play videos. Me and Chris recorded a few yesterday, and they were really funny.
Yeah, I watched them a few times, actually.
Yeah, I watched the WWE 2K one like 3 or 4 times. It was really funny. So we're going to have some WWE 2K17. We're playing Until Dawn, which Chris has never experienced, so it's really fun. And maybe Overwatch one day. We're trying to get that worked out.
We're trying to figure out how to record more than 5 minutes of Xbox footage. So if any of you out there in
Xbox One
the interview know, don't throw shade at the Xbox on the cast, man. There's lots of Xbox
there's a lot of
listening.
third-party apps that we can use, like either Twitch or even Mixer. I believe you can record your sessions and archive them.
Do you are those available on the Xbox store?
The apps, yes.
Are they free?
They're free. You may or may not need to get a subscription, though.
So explain to me why on Xbox you need to download these third-party apps and they're just not on the Xbox.
I don't work for the Xbox development team.
Yeah, that's probably not a question for us.
Yeah, you might want to
the Upload Studio is a pretty cool app, though.
You can add that question to Mikey Barra.
Who is he? Is he a community manager or what?
He is, I want to say yes, but he's also on the development team for Xbox, where he does kind of system updates, this and that. They're testing him out.
So he's like the behind the scenes Herb Nelson, what's his name? Larry Herb?
Yes.
Nelson? Major
Major
Herb's Oregano? What's his name?
I have no idea who you're talking about, honestly.
You guys
Major Nelson.
Don't act like you don't know.
You don't know Major Nelson, really?
Oh, no, Major Nelson.
Yeah, Larry
Herb. The Herb threw me off.
His name is Herb.
Yeah, it's Larry Herb. That's
his
name.
His
but
last name is Herb.
His gamer tag.
All right, we're getting out of control. So yeah, we've been doing some Let's Plays. We're gonna upload them. We're gonna try to do it every day, a video a day. We'll see how that works, but they're really entertaining, really interesting. You guys should check it out over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/users/crossplay.
Also, let us know what games you would like us to play. If there's a certain game that you'd like to see us play and we happen to have, because we're not going to buy it.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And hey, if you have an extra game laying around that you'd like to see us play, or a game code, send it to us and we'll play it. We'll give you credit. We'll make a whole series out of it. So let us know.
Definitely. So, did we mention the blog already?
Oh, yeah. Read the blog, guys. We've been updating it every single day at nickyjamesstudios.wordpress.com. All of our YouTube videos will be there. Any wrestling or gaming-related news will be there. It's really where you could just stay up to date with all the latest going on with Crossplay.
And real quick, if you like what you hear, be sure to check out our Patreon. Do you have the link for that?
Patreon.com/crossplay. Pretty easy. You guys can contribute as low as $1 a month, as high as $100 a month, whatever you're comfortable with. Then again, if you can't afford the extra buck, don't worry. We're up for free on YouTube and everywhere else you can find us. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. Come find us.
Great. Perhaps you've played Kingdom Hearts 2 and 1, right?
Yes, both.
You played them.
Did you? Have you played them all, like Chain of Memories and Dream Drop Distance on the DS? I
claimed the majority of them, but I mean, the spin-offs, they kind of got really out there in terms of story-wise, so I'm a little bit lost. But I played, the main ones, the main numbers, 1, 2, and yeah, Chain of Memories, which came out for the Game Boy Advance, I believe.
How long has it been since 3?
Since 3? It's maybe 10 years, I believe. I think
it's been 12 years. It came out in 2005.
Over a decade.
Well, at the recent D23 conference, they finally announced a release date, sort of.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much.
Kinda.
I wouldn't put too much faith in there.
Estimation.
Okay. They said 2018, so that could mean a number of things. It could mean 2018 with, we hope. But it could also mean 2019.
Yeah, I legitimately, all jokes aside, they say 2018, but I would still put my aim at Q1 2019, April.
Right. And before we started this up, we took a look at the trailer for Kingdom
I
Hearts
want
3.
to talk about the trailer, actually, because I think Well, I don't. You're not very into Kingdom Hearts historically, are you?
I've only played the second one.
Okay, so still, you've played more than me. So I think out of all of us, I've played the least, and I've liked it the least. I have a real aversion to like Japanese RPGs, Square Enix games, typically. This trailer was awesome. They revealed that the new world is going to be Toy Story themed. The video was all in Japanese, but it was still, the colors were great. They did a really good job recreating Andy's room and his front yard. As someone who's never played a Kingdom Hearts game, I'm actually really interested. I might get this. If it gets good reviews, I'll pick it up.
I think it looks definitely worth picking up for sure. Looks like it's keeping all of the mechanics from previous games and enhancing on that. The graphics look amazing, so we can't wait for that 2018. Next up, we talked, was it the last podcast we talked about Doomfist?
Yeah. Yep. Last week.
He came out with a thunderous applause from gamers everywhere.
Is he out already?
No,
not yet.
Oh, okay.
He's on, I should clarify, he's on the PTR.
Came out of the closet?
They're testing him. Well, we'll see. Anyways, he got a big rounding applause from all the fans once Blizzard finally teased him. But he has, of course, been nerfed, and like everyone else, it was bound to happen. What was on the chopping block? That would be the range of Doomfist's alt fire charge rocket punch.
His ult was just basically like a predator missile, right? Just death from above, and it would have a huge area of effect.
I didn't say ult, I said alt.
Oh, alt.
His alt fire.
Alternative fire.
So.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Is that the left trigger fire?
It's another ability. It's called the rocket punch. So basically, the distance from which you hold down. It's like a charge up. You hold down the button. The longer you hold it down, the further he'll go, the more damage he'll do. You can also knock opponents into walls and to other players to do additional damage. He's a very combo-driven.
So when he hits people, does he knock them back?
With rocket punch.
Yeah, with rocket punch.
With damage.
And also with his ultimate ability, I believe. He knocks them back and down. But it was nerfed. It has been reduced to about 9 meters when it's fully charged. Initial reaction seems to be that he is still very viable, still very powerful. So we're looking forward to see what the next iteration of Doomfist will be, and we're going to keep close tabs on that.
So are you done with that?
Yeah, I was just going to say there were some other patch notes for the PTR, but I don't have them right now, so we'll go over them on at another time. Okay,
well, I'm really eager to get into a little bit of wrestling news. A couple days ago, Talking Smack was canceled. Now, you guys know Talking Smack is kind of the SmackDown post show hosted by Renee Young and Human Filth, Daniel Bryan. I'm not a Daniel Bryan.
Is that an official nickname?
That's what his wife calls him.
Okay, well, there you go.
So, anyway, it was canceled suddenly on no word. WWE put out a very typical corporate statement saying that they're always reevaluating their network programming based on viewership, blah, blah, blah. Turns out the way it really got canceled was Vince McMahon, who's now 70 years old. He doesn't show up at events as often as he used to. He showed up on SmackDown, saw them filming Talking Smack, and was just like, nah, I don't like what I just saw. Cancel the whole thing. So this obviously has fans, talent, and the hosts really angry. Renee Young took to Twitter saying, like, well, that's one way to find out the news. Daniel Bryan said he just was chiming on about how it gave a lot of opportunity to the mid-card and the low-card, and he was right. We just saw before we started recording, we watched The Miz from last August on Talking Smack, and he gave the promo of his life.
Was it a promo, or was it a legitimate reaction?
Well, exactly. He really blurred the lines between kayfabe and reality, and that's when, in my opinion, when wrestling is at its best. That's what made the Attitude Era so great, was they would constantly blur the lines of kayfabe, and you didn't know if it was real or not.
Right.
So you said after watching that, Chris, you said, oh, and I have a little bit of more respect for The Miz. Yeah. That was basically the reaction worldwide. I mean, among me, Zach... Zach is now off to college, so we'll never see him again. But
he may make.
He'll be back in 4 years after he gets his master's.
Like recurring appearances. You never know.
Anyway, so
wishing the best on his future endeavors.
Thank you.
So the point is, is that he got a lot of respect out of that promo The Miz did on Talking Smack, he's not the only one. It really boosted the careers of a lot of mid-carders, and it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't think it was the wrong move to cancel it. A lot of people agree. Talent, journalists, everyone.
From what I understand about it, I don't know too much about the history, but it does seem like it was an excellent platform for a lot of the mid-carders, like you said. And I think that's something that's very needed, because when you're trying to have the entire company being carried on the back of a few guys, it's just, it becomes a lot less entertaining. And hearing about how Vince canceled it, though, honestly made me wonder the state of Vince McMahon. That could be a whole other thing.
That's a Wednesday episode for sure.
But where's Vince at mentally? How much of the company is he really in control of right now? And obviously, if he can walk into a building after not being at the show for a while and just cancel complete segments, he's still calling the shots.
Yeah, he's still Vince McMahon.
So, but anyway, like you said, that's a whole another topic that we could get into. Another topic that we're going to get into, though, is what would you call it? Forgotten Game of the Week.
Yeah, we're going to start a new segment here called the Forgotten Game of the Week. What we're going to do is every Tuesday we're going to run down a forgotten game from the past. It could be a game from the 360 era. It could be a game on the Commodore 64. What we're going to do is talk about games that we grew up playing, that we miss, and we feel like if you have the opportunity, maybe you should give this game another chance.
All right, so let me set the stage for you. San Jose, the early 90s. 90s, I grew up. Nick, you grew up in the 90s.
I was there.
Jose, how old are you?
Same age as Nick.
He's about 7 months older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So developer Accolade found themselves in the middle of the infamous 16-bit console wars of the 90s. During this period, it was Nintendo versus Sega, Mario versus Sonic, the SNES versus the Genesis. Among these gaming juggernauts was tiny developer Accolade, who had to come up with a lovable character to compete with the likes of Mario and Sonic. So, when Capcom had Mega Man and Rareware had newly developed Donkey Kong, Accolade blew the entire industry out of the water with Bubsy Bobcat. In May of 1993, Bubsy burst onto the scene with Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a 2D platformer that transcended the console wars by being released on both the SNES and the Sega Genesis, so revolutionary at the time in that respect. In this game, players took control of Bubsy through colorful and expansive worlds, attempting to save the world by defeating the menacing Woolies and saving the Earth's supply of yarn balls.
I love it. Yarn balls?
Remember the yarn balls?
Yeah, I love it. That's what he's after, the yarn balls.
In one of the sequels, those were switched to marbles.
They did start doing marbles.
So Bubsy had all the standard platforming moves you'd expect. He could gain momentum by running, a la Sonic. He could jump on his enemies to defeat them, but where Bubsy stood out was his gliding techniques. This had been done in Mario, however, only temporarily through a power-up, whereas Bubsy could glide downward at any time. So the way they, compensated with that, where Mario could gain altitude, it was a one-time thing. Bubsy could at any time jump off and glide in a straight down.
I remember specific levels where I would try to get it to the highest point I could.
Right.
And Bubsy 2, that's the one I have the most experience with. And I would jump off and glide, and you could get across a lot of the level just this glide he did the whole way down.
That was so fun. So not surprising, Claw's Encounters of the Third Kind did very well among critics, averaging about 7.5 out of 10 in reviews. And needless to say, gamers were clamoring for more Bubsy. In fact, the hype around Bubsy was so huge that a full-fledged Saturday morning cartoon was created but never actually released. I was going to say,
I didn't know that. I would have watched it.
You can look that up on YouTube. There are some clips from it. It was fully created, just never picked up by a network.
Oh, I need to check that out.
However, fans didn't have long to wait, as on October 28th, 1994, a sequel was released simply titled Bubsy 2. It was also released on both the SNES and the Genesis. Bubsy 2 retained all the magic from its predecessor while improving and expanding on it in every way. However, it was not well received by critics, and the series creator even said it almost killed the franchise. Bubsy 2, which is my actual favorite Bubsy game,
was not well received. Is that what you're saying?
At the time, it was not well received by critics, and the series developer said that it actually almost killed the series.
It's my favorite Bubsy game. I love that game. I beat it.
Accolade was not about to give up on Bubsy, though. So just 2 months later, they released Bubsy in Fractured and Furry Tales on the Atari Jaguar. Only this game was sort of the dark horse of the franchise, since it was released on a console that sold poorly and went largely unnoticed.
But it was a good game? Or?
It was a great game. It was basically like a a work of art that you'd see, no one notices because
I would have played the hell out of that game.
Outshone by other ones. After releasing Bubsy on Game Boy and also a remastered version for the PC, Accolade gave Bubsy a well-deserved break. It wasn't until '93 any more developer Accolade knew that they had to step things up. The 16-bit era was ending, and consoles like the PlayStation and the N64 had taken things to the next level. Bubsy had to go 3D. On October 31st, 1996, the aptly named Bubsy 3D saw Bubsy being kidnapped they were kidnapped by fan favorite Woolies and taken to their home planet Rayon. It was your job to defeat the Woolies and collect rocket ship parts to get back home. Bubsy had all his trademark abilities, but now in a 3D world. Bubsy 3D didn't just blaze the trail in this dimension, it demolished it. This game really set the precedent for other 3D games at the time to follow what they did. It kept all the mechanics, and it did a great job in the 3D realm.
No, I remember this game. I remember seeing it in action. It was really, really early 3D gaming, before Super Mario 64 even, I think, right?
Yeah. During the time. During this time, this was when the N64 and the PlayStation were just blowing up, so Mario had come out, but Bubsy was doing different things that Mario was not doing.
Well, it was one of the earlier 3D platforming games, right. and so much so that the platforms and things, the mountains you would jump on, whatever, were not even textured. They were just like a grid pasted on top of a texture, and it was so bad looking. Maybe it was well received back then, but I saw a video not too recently, and it looks horrible.
Yeah,
it's no Bubsy 2.
Even though Bubsy 3D was critically panned at the time of its release, but a lot of people will tell you that game, just the challenge that went into the gameplay at the time was revolutionary. You know what else was panned at the time was Earthbound, one of the greatest RPGs ever. So Bubsy is basically...
I've beaten that game.
Yeah, Bubsy is basically to platformers what Earthbound is to RPGs.
Oh, that's such a cool way to put it. Cause
basically, that's how I see it.
That's true, because Earthbound is such a forgotten gem.
Right.
And Bubsy's kind of the same way. No one really talks about it.
If you ever have the chance to play Bubsy, go ahead and play it. In 1999, Accolade was bought out by French company Infogrames. They're still operating today.
Yeah.
Wow. But this will not be the last time we hear from Bubsy. As we know, a reboot was recently announced in 2017. So we're going to be hearing about that. I'm so excited that Bubsy's being rebooted.
So it's not a remaster, just a reboot?
No, it's... Well,
they're probably rebooting the franchise like they did with Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, it's a whole new game, just being redone for this generation. I'm excited to play it. So.
Well, speaking of reboots and remasters, I have a topic here for all of us to discuss. Remasters. There are a lot in the news lately.
Right.
There's some new releases, like the Crash Bandicoot series,
Ratchet and Clank,
and the recent one, Final Fantasy 12. So what kind of games do you guys, would like to see remastered?
So no, we're talking remasters. We're not talking about reboots, right?
We could keep it in the realm of
there's a difference.
Because there are games so old that you would have to basically rebuild them from the ground up, like Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of a remaster because it's all the levels are based on the original levels. They just rebuild it from the ground up.
I would consider a remaster something like when they had Halo on the original Xbox and then they remastered it for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
Okay, so let's do remasters. So what do you want to see remastered?
So a game you'd like to see just made beautiful.
With
easy for me would say Ocarina of Time.
All right.
Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, definitely one game I would love to see remastered. I mean, have you guys gone online and seen, they've done, the Kakariko Village in Unreal Engine?
Yeah,
I would love to see a fully fledged version of that game remastered.
So you want to see Zelda in Unreal because they have remastered it. It was on the 3DS remastered with remastered graphics.
Right, I'm talking about for this current console generation. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about PS4 quality graphics.
Yeah,
not on a handheld.
Or even better, Xbox One X.
We'll see. see about those red rings of death.
Well, for me, I would have to bring up a game. Maybe most people don't know about this. It's a PS1 classic. The name of this one is The Legend of Dragoon.
I remember that. Yeah, I never played it, but I remember it. I remember never wanting to play it. Japanese RPG, right?
Well, it was developed by a Japanese studio, yes, but it was more marketed on the Western side. Actually, it sold better a lot in the Western side. At least about 960,000 copies were sold in North America.
Wow.
A little less than that actually in Japan. Actually, only 280,000. But no, from what I remember, this game, it was I'll give you the premise of what it is. It's an RPG, turn-based. The story begins, when the name of the character. Don't make fun of his name.
I will. I promise.
You will. I know you will. His name is Dart. That's the protagonist.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not bad. No.
Penis sucking too. Sorry, that was gonna be much worse than Dart.
Anyway, no.
Follow the adventures of Penis Suckington.
Oh.
Anyway, the story begins. Yeah, Dart. He's coming back home from like a journey, like a 5-year journey. He was coming back to his adoptive town, I guess, because his hometown was originally destroyed by some monster, and he was, he wants revenge on it. And so,
right.
But he was unsuccessful. So as he was returning back, his hometown, the city that he's currently staying in, gets raided by a military force, and they were there basically to go after his one of his childhood friends. Her name is Shauna. The reason why they went after her, because she was, I guess, really the whole point of this is they have these orbs called we can cut it. Sorry.
We don't know what the damn orbs are called.
We don't know these orbs.
We'll cut it out for that silence. Anyway.
I'm not going to cut it.
You're going to cut it.
We're leaving all this.
Anyway. Sorry, I lost track. Anyway, on the way, he's attacked by a mantis dragon type, controlled by, a rebel nation. But he is saved by a mysterious heroine named Rose. But they soon part ways after that whole spiel. But when he arrives in his hometown, Celis, he discovers that it has been destroyed by Sandora, and that Shauna, Dart's childhood friend, and later became his love interest, has been taken away. Dart sets out to rescue her, and that's pretty much the whole premise of the game. But the cool thing about it is it's, in a sense, kind of like Power Rangers, because they get these orbs that turn them into these Dragoon Knights.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, you finally got my interest in it.
So wait, why say Power Rangers?
You should just
I'm in.
You should have said Japanese Power Rangers.
Japanese Power Rangers.
Why should this game be remastered?
Just the storytelling is really great. I love the art style in that game. It's very like medieval fantasy type thing, but also I have dragons, fucking dragons, man. Dragons are cool.
Yeah, dragons are always a good addition to anything. And Power Rangers.
Anyway, throughout the game though, your hero Dart, he's periodically. You're gonna do that. Throughout the game, he is period.
He gets his period.
Anyway, throughout the game, he's joined by people that helps him along the way.
Nick, what game do you want to see remastered?
All right, so what was that game called? Dragoon?
The Legend of Dragoon.
The Legend of Dragoon.
It's a PS1 classic.
With Mighty Morphin Dragon Power Rangers.
Mighty Morphin Dragon Power Rangers, yes.
Alright, we'll move right along here. The game I want to see remastered, I don't know if you guys remember this, is Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem.
Oh, I didn't even think of that one. That game
on
was
the
so
GameCube.
Awesome.
So, what this game, you play a character named Alexa Petrova, and what happened is you're going to your grandfather's mansion in Rhode Island. He's been murdered under mysterious circumstances. And as you go along his mansion, finding chapters to a book, and each chapter you find takes you back in time to like 1980 or something, and you live through a guy's eyes, and it kind of helps solve the murder of your grandfather, is the point. But where this game really shines is it has a sanity meter.
Oh, that messed with me as a kid.
Yeah, and what a sanity meter is it's just basically, it's your sanity. So if you ever get seen by an enemy, if you get injured, things like that, then you gotta your sanity meter goes down, and what it does is if you let it go down without doing a finishing move or something to heal yourself, it starts really screwing with the game. You'll start to hear voices that aren't there. You'll see monsters that aren't there. If you turn on
the game starts,
if you turn on your GameCube and you can go to your memory card section, it'll say it erased your game.
Yeah.
It'll do things to the system, to the actual system.
Yeah.
Wow.
itself to screw with you, and the game would come on, instead of playing the GameCube music, it would play some really weird stuff.
Yeah.
Things like that. You would walk into a room.
Great.
You would walk into a room and be suddenly walking on the ceiling. Things like that. This game is also a really forgotten gem from Shigeru Miyamoto, creator of Mario and Zelda. He did this game. No one ever talks about it. So this game with PS4 graphics, Unreal 4 would look fantastic.
Did you know that something was tried? Something was attempted as far as, I don't know if they were going to call it a prequel to Eternal Darkness or a sequel.
They were going to make a sequel, but Nintendo shot it down,
Right.
who was the IP owner.
Right.
The guy that created the game originally is trying to create a newer version. I forget what it's called, but he's trying to create his own version off Kickstarter. I don't really care about that. I just want to see Eternal Darkness redone.
Well,
so
definitely.
Most importantly, we all did our games, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, guys, I have a really important topic I need to get to right now before we run out of time today. I feel really passionate about this. Some people are passionate about politics. Some people are passionate about religion. I'm passionate about this topic. Guys, is a hot dog a sandwich? Let's go around the horn.
First, I'd like to clarify what constitutes a sandwich.
Well, wouldn't it be like two pieces of bread?
Two pieces of bread. Okay.
And then a middle piece like meat, some kind of meat.
And then some meat in the middle. Now, a sandwich is typically, you eat it, it's in a horizontal, it's on the horizontal plane. Whereas, and you eat it, like this. You don't
pick
turn
it up like
your
a sandwich
head or anything like that. You put, you put a bunch of different stuff on it. There's a reason why, there's a reason why people don't call a hot dog a sandwich, because a hot dog is a hot dog. Case closed.
So a hot dog is not a sandwich. You cannot be further from the truth. For one,
no,
do you turn your head? Do you turn your head to eat a hot dog? I don't. It's not a taco. You eat it. Like, you just eat it.
It depends if I load it up.
So what makes let me ask you this: what makes a sandwich not a hot dog?
What makes a sandwich not a hot dog?
Or a hot dog not a sandwich? Sorry.
What makes
a hot dog not a sandwich? What disqualifies it?
The hot dog part.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe it's the.
So then,
not the bun.
Is it the type of meat? Is that what it is?
Maybe it's the type of meat.
It's not. Look at a hoagie. A hoagie opens up like this. So does a Subway sandwich. You still call those a sandwich. So a hamburger is a sandwich too. It's a type of sandwich. Just because you call it a burger doesn't mean it's not a sandwich. Just because you call a hoagie or a sub doesn't mean it's not a sandwich. It's still a sandwich. It's just a type of sandwich. So a hot dog, in every sense, is a sandwich. It's two pieces of bread with meat and vegetable and some sort of sauce in the middle. It's a classic definition.
I think there's a reason.
Of a sandwich.
I don't know why isn't it when you see a sandwich menu, you don't see the hot dogs listed. The hot dogs are in the hot dog section.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm saying, like, okay, you go to a restaurant and they have the sandwiches on the menu and they have all the sandwiches there, right? You don't see hot dogs in the sandwich section.
Because just like you don't see a hoagie in the sandwich section to be in a hoagie section. It's burgers are in the burger section.
There's no hoagie section.
If you go to a hoagie shop, there is.
There's no hoagie
There's
shop.
one like a mile away from us.
There would be like a hamburger section, and then there would be a sandwich section.
Yeah, and hamburger's a sandwich. If you go to McDonald's and order just a Big Mac, you're going to say, I want a Big Mac, just the sandwich. I don't want the meal.
Oh, I would say just the burger. That's how I would talk.
Yeah, okay, but a burger's a sandwich. We could agree on that, right?
I guess so. Yeah, we could say that if you wanted to.
So then it's not too far off to say a hamburger's a sandwich.
No, but it's also not that far off to say a corn dog's a sandwich too. Where do you draw the line?
Well, a corn dog is completely enveloped in corn and fried. That's not a sandwich.
A hot dog is only about an inch away from being completely enveloped in bread.
Correct, but it's still a sandwich. Your point holds no water.
So then, all right, well, I can't see a corn dog as a sandwich. It's just, not a corn dog, a hot dog. What about you?
Yeah, you've been so quiet on this.
Well, from that logic, 2 pieces of bread and the meat, it sounds like it's a sandwich, to be honest.
Thank you for being reasonable.
You don't put ketchup on a sandwich.
Yeah, you do.
What sandwich?
Well,
like a typical BLT or not BLT, like a Like a club. You don't put ketchup on that.
There are people that put ketchup on their cold cuts.
No, you would.
No, not me. See, you're trying to personally attack me now because you know you're losing.
All right, well, Pep, so you're saying sandwich. You're saying sandwich. I'm saying a hot dog is a hot dog. So sound off in the comment section. Let us know what you think.
According to Chris, a hoagie's not a sandwich, or a sub sandwich.
No,
it's not a sandwich.
I think a sub sandwich is a sub sandwich, and a hoagie is a type of a sandwich.
But a hot dog's not.
A hot dog is a hot dog.
But a hot dog is a type of sandwich.
I don't go to the restaurant and say, "Can I have a chili sandwich, chili dog sandwich?"
No, because that's just colloquialism. It's just modern slang. You don't say I want a hot dog sandwich. But it doesn't make a hot dog not a sandwich. Does that make sense?
I'm very confused. I'm going to be questioning this for a while.
Guys, let us know what you think over on Twitter at Crossplay Pod. You can also find us on Patreon if you like what you've been hearing this hot dog conversation and you want to contribute.
We need to get the polls up and running because
yeah, well, we can get
just be our opinion.
A Twitter poll. We'll get something, guys. Let us know. You can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/crossplay. And read the blog at nickyjamesstudios.wordpress.com. That's it today for the Crossplay Podcast, guys. We will be back Wednesday for a wrestling podcast. Don't forget to catch our daily Let's Play videos on YouTube, and we will see you next Tuesday. Any parting words, guys?
Thanks for listening, guys. See you later.
See you then.
A hot dog is a sandwich. See ya.